Self-service businesses asking for tips. You may have noticed more are doing so these days. The question is it getting out of hand? Fox 55's Brianna Bias talks tips to help you decide.
So you're about to pay for your self-service frozen yogurt or your cup of coffee, and the employee turns their screen around to ask you how much you want to tip them. Purdue Fort Wayne professor Allana Olah says tipping culture has gotten out of hand since the beginning of 2020, but she believes the change began for valid reasons.
A lot of employees didn't have a lot of hours. A lot of business owners were either closing or they didn't have the capacity to have a lot of people working because their businesses weren't busy. And I think that's kind of what started it.
Olah has over 20 years of experience in hospitality and says now that the tip jars are up, they're probably not coming down, especially since many businesses are still short-staffed.
The employees probably feel a lot of times like they might be the only ones there, or one or two people doing 5 or 6 sometimes people's jobs.
She understands leaving gratuity in places that provide an extended service, like a restaurant or a hair salon. But she says it can be frustrating when she's asked to leave a tip after having little to no interaction with the staff.
In that case, it might feel a little awkward since you're kind of doing the work, or you might feel that way. So that's when I feel awkward.
She says customers aren't the only ones who may be uncomfortable. Service workers can also feel the awkwardness as they turn the screen around for gratuity. So despite her years being on the receiving end of tips, she gives customers permission. If you don't feel you've received an adequate amount of service, don't tip.
It's awkward for us, but now that it's everywhere, I think it just has to be where we place it where it's valued.
In Fort Wayne, I'm Brianna Bias, Fox 55 News.
Some coffee shops and fast food restaurants are even asking for tips as high as 30%. Olah says there's no etiquette expectation to tip in a walk-in, walk-out environment.